start tonight with Ryan Rhodes. Ryan Rhodes of Sheffield. Now, sure, he relinquished his British title earlier this year to concentrate on a world title. He won the European title in style, to be honest with you. And now he's edging ever closer to a world championship. But it's not quite as simple as that. Oh, no. Ryan, you see, is a bit of a fairy tale. And that's why he's on this show today, OK? He's a fairy tale in the boxing world. He really is. This is me talking to him a few hours ago, and I just had to start with the fantasy aspect of his mad career. Ryan, first of all, if someone had said to me 4 or 5 years ago, Ryan Rhodes is going to be in the top 10, pushing for a world title, former British champion, European champion, in the best form of his life in December of 2009, I would have said they're mad. What is it you're drinking up there in Sheffield?
It's the water up in Sheffield, up the north, Steve. It's absolutely fantastic. It's what lions and tigers drink.
It must be, because, I mean, I know you and I have talked about this before, but you've got no right to be in this position according to the way things are meant to go. It's fantastic.
No way, Steve. You know, like you've just said, 4 or 5 years ago, you know, someone would have told me I would have been European champion, number 3 by the WBC, number 7 by the IBF. You know, obviously on the fringes of fighting for a world title. I would have absolutely, you know, I'd have laughed at whoever would have said it.
Yeah.
But I'm here, Steve. It is true, and I can't wait for 2010, mate.
No, listen, I'm on your side, and I tell you one thing: if I was a world-class light middleweight, I'd be avoiding you like the plague, because you've got the Midas touch at the moment. I really mean that.
That's right, and I've got the experience as well.
Yeah.
You know, I've been here before. I was at this level when I was like 21, 20 years old.
Yeah, you were.
So I've been here before, so I've got the experience on my side as well. But obviously, you know me on a personal level, Steve. We've been on holiday before together,
Yep.
and it's where we are now. I knew once I got my break, once I got my chance, I knew I'd grab it with both hands, and that's what I've done. And everything what's been put in front of me, I've steamrolled, Steve.
Yeah, once you got your head together, because you don't become a bad fighter when you have bad years. You just got to get your head straight, as you know.
That's right. And I needed a change. 5 years ago, I was with Brendan Ingle.
Yep.
And I've been down there for 22, 23
Since you were a
years.
baby,
and
yeah.
I just felt like I needed a change. I just felt like I was a little bit stale, a little bit bored. And as soon as I made that move to Dave Cordwell and Mark Willing, my fitness trainer,
Yeah.
I just absolutely loved the game again, Steve. I absolutely loved it. I fell out of love with the game probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
And it
But
showed.
when I made that move, yeah, exactly. You saw it in my performances. I was winning, but I wasn't winning well, and I wasn't winning how I should have been winning.
Sure.
But now I feel like that I'm performing to my ability and to the best ability, and I'm still improving, I feel.
No, listen, there certainly are. Now, your fight against Jamie Moore for the European title, you relinquished your British earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Your fight, a couple of months ago, back in October, was in many ways the best British fight of the year. Now, is it fair to say that going into that fight, even though you had a good run, you were the underdog, Ryan? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, I wasn't.
Of course not. Not in your eyes, but
yeah. In my eyes, no, and in my trainers and the close people around me knew that
you could
my
do it.
ability. But everybody else didn't see that. Everybody else weren't in training camps and what I was doing in training.
Sure.
No one saw that. So, to be fair, Jamie was the favourite to the other people. But I knew what I was capable of doing, and I knew what I was going to do on the night. And I didn't expect to fight him like that straight off. I expected to box him, get out of way.
And then have a fight in the later rounds, yeah.
And then have it out with him. But I just felt like he would... in sparring, when I building up for sparring for that, my sparring partners weren't closing the distance like Jamie were in the fight.
Yeah.
So the first round, it was a bit of a shock to me how quick Jamie was closing the distance. And I just mentally went back to the corner in the first round, and I said to Dave, I said to Mark, I've got to have it out with him now. He's closing the distance too quick.
I can't box him.
Yeah, I couldn't box him because I was wasting too much energy trying to get out of the way of Jamie, and I knew I'd have, by the time 4th, 5th round come, when I should have had it out with him, I would have had nothing left.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. So what's on 2010? You said you're looking forward to it. What's there? You've got this high-ranking WBC. You're respected across the world now at light middleweight. You're also the European champion. Where do you go? Where are you looking in 2010, Ryan Rhodes?
I would like probably a defence of my European title, Steve. To be fair, I'd like a defence of my European title. I think what's happening, the world champion Martinez has just had a fantastic fight with Williams.
Yeah, scrap
You know,
up
they're
that
talking
was.
about a rematch or whatever. So I think that's going to be tied up for probably 4 or 5 months
At
after
least,
Christmas.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think rather than me just waiting around to see what's happening that way, I'd like a defence of my European title. You know, just to get me by and keep me active.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's right. I'm 33, just turned 33 years old now, Steve. I don't want to be, you know, waiting around to see what everybody else is doing.
No.
I want to be active myself.
Yeah, and you've got to stay, my gut feeling is you've got to stay active with fairly decent fights that push your world ranking higher.
Definitely.
Because anyone can tread water in an 8-rounder against someone from Latvia, but you know, you haven't got time to tread in water, have you, really?
Not at all. And I feel like the better the opponent is, the better I perform as well.
Yeah, well, listen, that's absolutely the case. And the more up for it you are, and the more you can see beyond that fight. I know you're not meant to look at the next fight, but your eye's always on something bigger. It's just it's natural.
No matter who you are, you always think about the bigger picture.
Of course you do, and you know, when people say, "Well, I'll never look at the next fight," well, of course you do. What they mean is, I'm not underestimating this guy, but you've got to be looking forward. Right, let me ask you this: high and low, 2009. Not your high and low, in boxing in general. High and low.
Highs in boxing, obviously. I think Pacquiao he's set a fantastic standard for boxing. He's an unbelievable fighter. The lows, 2009, probably Pacquiao and Mayweather didn't get it on.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he talks about in 2010, but it's not signed and sealed yet. So
Listen, it's a long way from signed and sealed as well, mate.
Well, but sounds of it, yeah. I've just been reading a few things, but that's a different story.
Well, listen, Ryan, enjoy your family. Enjoy your family Christmas, because you've got a busy year next year. Your life changed this year. You think it changed this year. Next year it's going to change for good, son.
I can't wait, Steve. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Ryan Rhodes, European light middleweight champion, top banana and lovely fella. Thanks very much, Ryan.
Thanks, Steve. Cheers.
Now for the